Hey everyone, it's Brian with Rock Ridge Bees. Today is February 18th. It's about, say, 60 degrees outside this afternoon. I went into a few hives today, fed the hives again. I fed some last week. I think that's what I said I was gonna do. Fed some last week when it got warm for a week. And it's still been pretty warm. It's supposed to get a little cool next week, but you know, whatever. That's what happens in the late winter, early spring here. So feeding, went into some hives. I didn't go into those two. I did not go into these two. I didn't go into those two. I have to change the bottom board out on those. Both those bottom boards are pretty bad shape, so I'm just I gotta make some bottom boards or fix some bottom boards, and I'll replace those bottom boards there. And then these two, I was just kind of skipping around some. I didn't go in these, but all the hives are active. All the hives look good. The single looks good. It's on about 5 or 6 frames. The brood is really nice. Yeah, this hive up here is the biggest hive, which I expected. It's had the most activity kind of all winter. Very active. There's bees all over the place. Probably bees on, you know, I would say a good 60-75% of the frames right now, which is a lot for this time of year. There's a lot of bees in here. So I usually don't, I can't remember when my first swarm was last year. Usually I think it's around the middle of March. Here is when I catch my first swarm in the area. Probably see swarms 1st of March, at least by the 1st of March. Sometimes you get some swarms in late February, but for me, I'm pretty sure it was like middle of March. So I would expect this hive, if they're gonna swarm, they're gonna be the first to swarm. They are the biggest. And all the rest of the hives look good. They look fine. You see this bee's kind of mad at me here for walking around in front of these two hives. But yeah, all the bees are nice. These two nukes in here look good. Everything's good. So probably in a week or 10 days, I may have to wait till after this cold snap comes through. I think it's going to rain here in a couple of days, and it's going to be cold. I'll check these two, and then I'll check these two and replace the bottom boards. I do need to replace the bottom board on that one also. I made this bottom board out of some pine, and it's completely fallen apart also, so I got to replace that. And I may do something with this stand because it's not in great shape. All the hives that I went in, I pulled my oxalic pads off. I put some oxalic pads in the colonies. You can't read my notes anymore, but probably in the middle of the fall, I think I put some oxalic pads, middle to late fall. And so I pulled those off in the colonies that I went in. I'll have to pull them off of these two and those two. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Everything's good here. They'll drink this food down in, 2 or 3 days at least. And really liking these top feeders. The only thing I would say about feeding on top is I am so used to taking, like when I want to work a box, so I want to work this colony, I take the top off, put it to the side. If I had my front feeder or an inside feeder, I generally would take the telescoping top and flip it over right here. So, this would be, there would be nothing on top of this, right? So I'd be working this hive, flip this top over, and then I could take this box off and sit it up here instead of having to bend over all the time and sit the boxes on the ground. That's the only thing that I may have mentioned that before in one of my earlier videos, but that's probably the only thing that bugs me a little bit about these is now I have to every time set the box on the ground, or I have to take the feeder off, right? But generally I like to leave the feeder there so I don't have bees flying out of another hive. So yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. Spring's about to be here, so I better get ready.